Now let's look at inner joins. So, starting with the theory and ending with the examples. An inner join is an intersection join, mathematically known as an intersection, the part of two sets where they join together and the information is common to both. So the rows in the join is equal to the rows matching each other. In the middle, you retrieve only the rows common to both tables only, the intersection. That's what an intersection is. We have two special clauses called the using and the on clause that are used as part of the ANSI standard version of SQL to join tables together as intersecting or inner joins. You specify the column name or column names to join on because join tries to match all matching column names. So, if you said select act show from act join show, nothing would happen. It actually wouldn't work. What we'd have to do is we'd have to run a test like that, which we will do when we get to the examples. You have to specify something in the using or the on clause or using the where clause in the traditional format of doing a join. In this case, we're joining act and show table using the act ID, which is common to both act and show tables. Here we can see the act ID is the primary key on the act table, and it is a foreign key pointing back to the act table, referencing the act table from show, joining the information together. So you select using act ID. Similarly, in the Oracle proprietary format or the previous or older format of join syntax, you say from both the tables where the two keys are equal. The on clause is similar, except that in a case where you would have two column names with different names, if you use the using clause, it wouldn't know how to join them. So now let's look at some inner join examples. I'm going to take this entire script, this is the work file, and I'm going to paste it into SQL Developer. Let's go up to the top. So it says you must use the using or on clause when coding an inner join. The default for an inner join is actually inner, so the syntax diagram would look like this, an inner clause. Don't have to do that. This will do the same thing as this, and this is invalid because you have to specify what you're going to join with. The same would apply to this, because once again you have to specify. In this case I'm using the non-ANSI standard but specifying with the where clause. For the ANSI standard join you have to use using or on. The using clause allows you to specify a specific field. So you could take this query, for instance, join act and show with the two act IDs, and say using act ID. Note that I've removed the aliases. If I try this one, it's ambiguous because using doesn't know the difference between a.actid and s.actid. It can't use s dot and a dot because it thinks they're different columns because of the alias. So in that case you'd actually have to use the on clause to specify the different fields in the different tables. As it says here, the above error, this one here, with the aliases, can use on to resolve that problem. Now, typically on, when you're not using aliases, is used when you've got two tables where you want to join on a column where the column names are different in the two tables. So I'm going to demonstrate that by changing the name of the supporting act table's act ID column, which if I go and look at the table here, I can see that it's called act ID. So let's go to here and let's run this rename, and let's go back to this table here and try to run a refresh. We've got to be careful with refresh in SQL Developer sometimes, and I think what I need to do is I probably need to close and double click it again to reopen it. There, it's changed it. But if we go down to here it has changed it. This topic will be continued in the next movie.